Hello everyone. My name is Yevgeny Petrenik. I am the founder of the company and the brand Rusich. Our company is engaged in the development and production of medicinal herbs. The history of the company began in the 2020th year with my acquaintance in Sochi with a candidate of physical sciences who also studied medicinal plants. My friends told me about the development, and this main goal was that I was interested in the drug that he was engaged in. He had been doing it for several years and quite successfully and used it to treat various diseases. I have long been interested in general products and everything related to natural medicines. That's why it was very interesting for me to meet this person to learn more about this development. Subsequently, as it turned out, the balm has a very interesting history, which goes back to the 50s of the 20th century, that is, the last century, the times of the Soviet Union. Here, the history of the development itself. In the 50s of the last century, there was such an inventor in Sochi, Stefan Efimovich Chernyshov, who developed a method for producing highly active negatively charged alcohol. It was based on pure grape alcohol without any impurities, without preservatives, and thanks to special additives and processing, it obtained previously unknown properties. I showed the drug as a very interesting product and helped in the cure of various diseases, and as a result it was called a vascular cleaner. People from all over the Soviet Union began to come to Chernyshov to receive healing. He became quite famous and the press began to write about him. Articles were published in various publications, including the newspaper Izvestia. Here on the slide you can see these cuts. However, the magazine Organic. In 1980, one of the many letters coming to the editorial office from readers with approximately the same text was read out in the editorial office of the Organic magazine. You just have to write in your magazine about the folk healer Chernyshov. This is a real magician, he works wonders, healing people with incurable diseases with his balm. He lives in Sochi and has been more than 80 years old. After that, employees of the Research Institute of Biological Testing of Chemical Compounds of the USSR Ministry of Industry and Industry, as well as the Department of Genetics of the MSU Biofactory and the Prague Institute of Technology joined the study of the balm on alcohol. Kazanachev, a member of the Academy of Medical Sciences, gave his conclusion that the preliminary addition of the drug increases the body's resistance to radiation, prevents the violation of homeostasis, has an inhibitory effect on unstoppable cell division, and has a positive effect on various inflammatory processes. Candidate of Biological Sciences Lazarev gave his assessment. Experimental studies conducted at the institute revealed the adaptogenic and radioprotective properties of the balm. Stefan Chernyshov. Chernyshov has been helping people for more than 30 years. Not a single case of negative effects of the balm on the body has been recorded for all this time, and the last time he wrote his appeal to the editorial office of the Young Guard magazine, he was already more than 90 years old. After our acquaintance with the developer, well, I mean my acquaintance, I and about 10 other people used this balm for 3 months and feedback was received. It was after that I realized that the drug really works. People also spoke about it, having already had certain positive results on application. All our reviews can also be found in our Facebook group, Kontaktis on Valboris. I'll show you there later, too. So after I realized that the drug was really working, it was decided to launch this pre-product into production and into serial production. In the 2020 year, we released the first batch of balm called Balsam Rusich, and after that, for these 2.5 years, we have already accumulated a lot of reviews. The main purpose of the drug is to increase human immunity, viral and parasitic various colds, throat disease, loss of strength, chronic fatigue, radioactive contamination. He also showed very good results in the treatment of various skin diseases. The composition of the balm is completely 100% natural. Herbs from the ecological zone of the Caucasian highlands are used in the production, including mineral water from a well 2,200 meters deep, grape alcohol, where the Caucasian ginkgo is more likely, black walnut, parsley, peach, burdock, black elder, Caucasian fir, wild cherry. The balm has a high concentration of vitamins, macro and microelements, enzymes, organic acids, tannins, essential oils, iodine, juglones, polyphenols that determine anti-cancer activity, ginkgolides that improve the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the organs, contribute to the rapid removal of toxins, helps to expand blood vessels, increase the elasticity of their walls, which is especially important for the vessels of the brain. Our balm has been on the market for almost 3 years. During all this time we receive only positive feedback, including I can tell my personal story. My son had such a small seal on his eyelid, probably like a ball. Here we went to the hospital, nothing helped. That is, they smeared that something was prescribed there, some fund somewhere for 3 months. Well, there was no. The doctor said that you need to have an operation, that is, well, there are no other options. It so happened that at about the same moment, he sometimes had an angina, so his throat ached. They began to give him a balm. So somewhere after probably 2 or 3 weeks, they accidentally discovered that this thing had resolved on the eye, and that was it. That is, it turned out like this, how to say, a side effect of the application. The advantage of our products. The human body is very complicated, all the systems in it are in balance with each other, and if this balance is violated, a health problem begins. Our company's products are based on medicinal plants, and due to its natural composition, it has a mild effect on the body. Plant components interact at the cellular level with all body systems, thanks to which health is restored in the most natural way. The liquid form of the products ensures maximum digestibility and active components of the drug. Another important point is that our product is used sublingually, that is, under the language, and due to this, firstly, it is convenient and fast application. Further, under the tongue, as you all know, we have a wide capillary system. Due to this, the active substances from the drug enter the bloodstream quickly and, moreover, this bypasses the digestive system. In this case, the advantage is that when a drug gets into the digestive system, it is partially destroyed by the liver there, and absorption occurs in a much smaller volume. That is, if you use some product, let's say in tablets, when it passes entirely through the gastrointestinal tract, most of the active substance disintegrates and does not reach the blood, that is, it does not get into the blood. Here, of course, it is not visible. This is with Valboris a small part of the reviews about our drug. Here are more reviews can be found on our website. We have information in the tincture. This is Oleg Taktarov. He has also been using our products for 6 months. Reviews from him are on his resources. There are also on YouTube. If someone is an athlete, then I think they know him. Now our company, in addition to the main product balsam Rusich, we are currently developing a line of various drugs that will work for various diseases. In particular, we now have a drug in production called Rusich. This is for men's health. It will be available for sale somewhere within probably the next month, because it is already in the production process at the enterprise. We have 58 pavilions. If anyone has any questions, you can ask them in the pavilion. You can ask me now. I am ready to answer the questions.
I want to clarify, these are exactly the properties of light, right? Or are there all sorts?
We get, first of all, it is great alcohol, which has undergone a certain treatment, so in addition to great alcohol, there will be 12 vegetable herbs. All these herbs are selected in a certain way, that is, they are not random all plants. Yes, they also have, let's say, that is, they do not interfere with each other and a certain amount of each substance in the percentage ratio. That is, they did not just take that there was a gram of each plant put all in one pile, that is, there is a percentage of each and a different amount.
Thank you. One more question.
That is, as far as I understand, I have specially purified great alcohol. Is there to help these substances get into the cell, right? That is, like this, the cell does not reject ordinary alcohol, roughly speaking, the cell is not so. Doesn't know how to resist taking, right? And great, it's soft, like the cage itself, it takes it easier. That's easier to accept. That is, how would she, so to speak, his name is here. That is, he goes out into the cage and carries these medications with him. In this, great alcohol acts as a carrier, you said it correctly, so that medicinal components from plants get into the cell simply and quickly, and this is one of the reasons. The second point is that great alcohol also acts as a preservative, so there is no need to add any additional components in order for the composition to be stored. We have indicated an expiration date of 3 years, but in fact, that is, it probably has an unlimited shelf life, I think, eh? It's about 32 to 36 degrees there. We have, in general, according to our instructions, it is written that children from the age of 12 or 14, if I'm not mistaken, here, but in fact my children have been taking since the age of 10. My friends were given to children at 4 years old, and as if there were no problems. My friend's daughter had polyps, so they used a balm and it helped, oddly enough. Honestly, I don't remember right now, because well, very much information for memory, I won't say now. If I'm not mistaken, he wrote a review either on Valberis he wrote, or in our V-Contact group he wrote a review.
Yevgeny, I have, rather, a supplement, an irregularity for using this drug. In terms of degrees, I am a doctor, I want to mention one thing. So, the fact is that kefir from the children's dairy kitchen contains 2 to 3% alcohol, and the dose there is 200 grams. Here it is. This is in one portion, which the operators bring into the oral cavity. Alcohol is disproportionately less than in the portion that the infant receives for one feeding. Therefore, the harm of alcohol is not even considered here. The question is, what does this drug mean? According to my results, I have carefully studied all the components. It has a powerful antiviral, antifungal and antibacterial effect. And injected into the mouth, it acts both through the blood and through the intestinal cavity. And it very quickly normalizes the microflora in the intestine. There are all the components familiar to a person to one degree or another, like food. They are present. And these substances are all familiar to man, but they all suppress pathogenic microflora. Each of these components has corresponding data in the literature. Here, therefore, one of the main advantages is a very powerful anti-inflammatory, regenerative and antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal effect of the drug. It is due to this that it heals any sores in the mouth very quickly.
Here,
The only thing that means, with open wounds, for example, immediately after surgery, means the new alcohol can irritate, yes, as an active agent. But again, its quantity is minimal, which means that the result is very high. Here, and my simple wish is to pay attention to this moment, because it is fundamentally different from the rest of the drug and gives it a very serious understanding and perspective of use.
Thank you very much for such an addition.
Well, I can add a little more from myself. If you deal with the pharmaceutical market at all, then this is first of all a huge business and probably everyone already knows about it. There are no people who have not heard about it, that the task, probably, in general, the world's arena for healthcare and all pharmaceuticals is, so that people get a little sick all the time and constantly drink through some pills. If we compare drugs that are made from natural ingredients, such as medicinal herbs, then the pharmaceutical business is not interested in this direction for a simple reason, because the number of medicinal plants is very limited, the zones where they grow are also limited, plus there is a huge complexity, that is, the fact that you need to grow it all, it is necessary to collect it all correctly, to process it all correctly in order to get these necessary components from these plants. And when they make some medicines, those that are probably 99% in the pharmacy, these are all synthetic derivatives from various chemical, say, substances. It's all very cheap, very simple, and you can build up production and produce millions of pieces for tablets there, whose cost is just a penny. Therefore, in this case, well, my personal task is to create products that are safe for health in the first place, give a certain positive effect, and if compared again with standard medicines, they have, as you know, a huge number of side effects that can be read in the instructions, and where it turns out that on the one hand something heals, on the other hand it cripples, that is, well, this is another addition.
Thank you very much, let's applaud. I remind